And then I went out there and I just started swinging for the fences with jokes.
Chris, the way people react to you, they just look at the ground. They don't even know what to do. Another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. Our favorite month is over.
I'm sad, but I've been having a great fall.
It's been a good fall.
We've been here a lot.
We've been talking shit about New York as much.
I know.
Midterm election week, everybody.
Welcome.
Let's just kick it off. Let's cross this off the list of all the things we have to discuss today. Make sure that you are voting. So you can probably vote today on the 7th. Tomorrow is midterm election day. We've told you, make sure you're registered. Make sure you know who you're voting for, where they stand on issues that are important to you. You know what's important to us. Mm-hmm. And get out there and vote. Tag us in your voting stories with your stickers.
Only if you do the right thing, though.
2 stickers, one on each nipple.
One on each titty. So yeah, get out there, girls, and the couple boys that listen, and
everybody get out there.
Yeah. Vote. All right. Well, before we get into the episode, let's just thank a couple partners really quickly. Thanks to HelloFresh for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Go to hellofresh.com/GGE65 and use code GGE65 for 65% off plus free shipping. And thanks to Nutrafol for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code GGE15 to save $15 off your first month's subscription.
Yes, and thanks to Native for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Native makes safe, simple, effective products that people use every day with trusted ingredients. Get 40% off your first 3-pack of Native body wash at nativedeo.com/GGEDEO or use promo code GGEDEO at checkout. And thanks to Buffy for supporting Girls Gotta Eat. Buffy makes award-winning bedding that's soft on you and soft on the earth. For $20 off your Buffy order, visit buffy.co and enter promo code GGE. Azul, you coming up? And I've just remembered that if you guys do Instagram stories, we have a Girls Gotta Vote GIF.
Oh, yeah.
So we made that a couple years ago. So get in there with our Girls Gotta Vote GIF and show us that you guys are doing your part. Of course, there's tons of GIFs in there. One that says more Azul's friend. People love to use that one all the time. Which I respect it.
I think it's adorable.
And watch on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. And I also wanted to say, if you're watching on YouTube, there are some fun extras. There's some random may not watch the YouTube. I don't know. Do you watch the YouTube?
I watch YouTube. I love it. And I like to play it in the background. In the evenings, you're always like, I never know what you do at night.
You watch our YouTube.
I don't know what she's doing out there.
So we do have this incredible video editor, Anna. She's in the room right now. And she's really been spicing things up. So last week I talked about the dog costume contest. We put dogs and costumes in there. She added this fun little Taylor Swift thing. So it's a fun experience to watch it. Again, if that's not what you're into, don't do it. But letting you know that there is extras in the YouTube.
I saw an Instagram story this week of somebody, you put it on our story, this girl, this whole spread, which that's what people would do when they would watch our live shows at home that we're streaming. And I just love the idea that people make Girls Gotta Eat themed snacks, invite their friends over. And it's just an additional fun way to spend time with us. So thanks for supporting the YouTube, guys. We love doing it.
I think that's a fun thing to do. It's if you don't do bachelor nights, have the Girls Gotta Eat, watch our episode night.
You're tired of The Bachelor, you guys. Just watch us. And then we have a lot of stuff coming up. So Ashley's on tour and then we are on tour. So we released our Snack City tour that starts in February. We can't wait to see you guys there. And you've just snatched up so many tickets and the shows are so much fun, so wild, such a blast. So please come with your friends, your significant others. Come by yourself. And we'll just tell you the cities where you can grab tickets at girlsgottaeatpodcast.com.
Yes. Salt Lake City, Denver, Phoenix, Tampa, Orlando, Miami, Sacramento, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, New Haven, Chicago, Philadelphia, DC, Boston, Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati. Those are all in 2023, so you can check those dates if you want to come to those cities. Oh, and one thing I wanted to say, don't be scared of the cheap seats, because I will tell you that Raina and I really do choose theaters based on where we feel like every seat is a good seat. We have turned down theaters where we're like, that's not for us. We did this theater, not going to name any names, years ago, and the balcony started behind the floor seats. It was just people were so far away. So when we choose these theaters, sometimes there's only 1 or 2 options for the size that we need, but we really do think about this stuff. And yes, the Chicago theater is huge, but the way it's set up is like there really is not a bad seat in the house.
Yes.
And so if you're like, I don't know, I wanted to be up close, and now there's just balcony seats left, we're most likely not going to add second shows for really any of these, maybe one, but really not. So just don't be scared of those. You're still going to have a great experience. We do tons of crazy stuff on stage. You'll be able to see it. We'll shoot the t-shirts up in the rafters. And so I just wanted to say that. Just snag the cheap seats.
I agree. We do work really hard to look at the layouts before we book theaters, and we work really hard to involve as many audience members as possible. So we want to be able to get to you and hear from you.
Yeah.
So yeah, come out. We can't wait to see you guys. And then you're on tour as well.
I am going back on tour right now as we record. This will have passed, but I'm going to Denver this weekend. This will air after I'm there, but I'm headed there. I have 4 sold out shows in Denver at Comedy Works, Best Comedy Club, and I'm just so excited and so honored that all these people bought tickets, and then they're scooping up our Denver's our favorite city right now. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
They're coming to my show. They're coming to the Girls Gotta Eat show. They're scooping those tickets up. So they're hot right now. And I love doing stand up in Denver so much. So have those shows. I'm so excited. And then the following week, which would be this week now, if you're listening, I'm going to Nashville, which so excited. Sold out show at Zanies. We love Zanies.
Our third show ever?
Our third show ever.
So we love it. It's really special.
And
to
then our
us.
4th show ever was Atlanta. No, it's New York, Atlanta, Nashville. Whatever. It was up there. It's really, it's such an important city to us. And I lived there for 10 years. I'm literally wearing a sweater right now that says Atlanta. So I have the show in Atlanta on Sunday, November 13th. And there should be some tickets left. You guys can check. My site is ashhess.com. It's a link in my bio and Instagram too. But I've been on my first solo tour this year. So I started in June. I did a ton of shows in June. I did shows in August. And now I'm doing these shows in November. And Atlanta is the last stop of my tour. I don't know when I'll be doing a solo tour again. And it's the theater. It's at the Variety Playhouse. It means so much to me. Again, that's where I started doing comedy. I lived there for 10 years and I'm just so excited to end it there. If you guys are curious, it is, and you want to get tickets and you think it has something to do with the festival passes there, it's just a regular show. It is part of the Red Clay Comedy Festival, but it's just a regular show. So just get tickets. They're affordable if there are any left at this point. And again, yeah, it's not like you need a festival pass or anything. I think some people were confused. But yeah, I'm really excited to end the tour there. I love Atlanta so much. And that will be the end of my personal tour before we start back out on the Girls Gotta Eat tour.
Yes,
So-
and we probably won't be there until the fall next year. I mean, I know we won't. So if you're looking to see us, go see Ashley.
Yeah, I have some never before told Atlanta stories. We're going to have Atlanta only pre-show playlist. I have special openers. It's going to be lit.
Oh, I'm excited for you. So yeah, you can get all those tickets. We can't wait to see you. So we have not been on tour, so it's been a little frustrating for me because I don't have an excuse to get out of social plans anymore. And I've really enjoyed not having to go out on Halloween for the last 3 to 4 years. I don't go out the night before tour. I don't go out the night after we get back from tour. So I really don't have to do a lot of stuff. But since we have not been on tour, I've had to do all the stuff. And I am really kind of enjoying New York right now. Not Halloween. I hated going out on Halloween. But otherwise, I'm enjoying being here. We're doing a lot of stuff lately.
New York in the fall, like just specifically October, is just elite. It's the best month in the world. In a place. I love it so much. Like fall in New York is really so special. But yeah, this is like the most I've been here. I'm just loving it. I did have fun at Halloween. I know you didn't really love it, but I had fun like dressing up. I dressed up as Cher from Clueless. And the day before we did Meryl's birthday, we did this hot tub boat, which we've done before. You take like a hot tub out and go around New York City, go to the Statue of Liberty. It's through this company called See the City. You guys can also jet ski with them. And then just like some really fun girls dinners. So we've been in town and like been able to set up our dinners and I've just been having so much fun with my girlfriends. I just feel like it fills my cup like nothing else.
I was starting to feel maybe about a month ago, like I'm going to commit to dating. I really want to do it. I really want a partner. And in this last month, I really feel like my cup is full. I was with a girlfriend. I was having lunch with her on Sunday.
I keep using that phrase and it's like so corny, but it's how I feel.
That's how I feel.
It's the way I feel. Yeah.
So I was out with a girlfriend on Sunday and I feel like people that are in relationships see people that are not in relationships and they want to like figure you out. And they're like, but she's not in a relationship. So she must be unhappy. She must want this in her life. And so my girlfriend that I was with on Sunday was asking me some just mining questions about like my life and how I see it. And she doesn't judge me for being single. She couldn't care less. But she was like, but what are you looking for? Like, what do you really? And I was like, I don't know. I feel really happy at the end of the day. I feel like I've been like making all these social plans with my friends. I'm taking advantage of living in New York. I feel like we're really busy. And at the end of the day, I mean, I said this on the podcast before, I don't know that I have a lot to give another person right now. Like my ideal life at the moment would be that I have a couple of people to go out with some of the time. And I'm having not completely casual sex, but like pretty casual.
I love this.
I feel like being here more often has just, I feel like I'm really fulfilled emotionally. I can pick up the phone. I can call my girlfriends if I really need something. Socially, I'm really enjoying myself. And I've always said if somebody fits into that, that's great. But I haven't been craving it as much lately. And I do think it's because we've been like committing to doing more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've always felt like that everything's great. I feel fulfilled all the time. I feel like super happy and feel like I have so much like love in my life and guys come in and out. And, I had a slutty summer and I have, dates here and there, but it's also just like, yes, if the right person comes along, great. I'm open to it. But otherwise, I just don't sometimes feel like dealing with the stress. I mean, I can't tell you guys how many emails and, even just being on social media, being on TikTok, like it's rough out there. Like, don't beat yourself up if you fucking hate it. Like, I got this email from this girl. I think she said she's been on like 50 dates. Nobody wants to commit. She's like, what are guys doing? Like, what are they doing? What do they want? Like, why are they dating if they don't want to date somebody? Like, again, if you're in a happy, healthy relationship, first of all, hold on to it. Never let go. But it can be really brutal. And I just want to validate it that if you don't feel like doing it, just don't do it. Just lean into other stuff. Have fun with your girlfriends. Go on a hot tub boat around the city. Get a dog. Like whatever you want to do. Focus on work. I don't know. Your hobbies. Like this is like beating a dead horse at this point in the podcast. You guys know where we stand. But I just was like going through emails last night and was like, these are horror stories. Not the one about like just dating, but this girl's so frustrated. She's like, I'm committed. I'm going out. I'm doing all the things. And like, no one wants to commit. Everyone's just fucking around. And I'm not saying that that's everyone's story, but reading so many back to back, I was like, fuck this.
Just take a break if you don't like it. If it doesn't feel like fun to you, if somebody is not going to be more fun than sitting on your couch, then sit your ass on the couch. My girl that was asking me this was like, but don't you want to like go out and find somebody? And I was like, I've had a great day. I woke up this morning. I had a quick 20-minute workout. I had a great breakfast. I took a walk with her for like 5 miles. We had a great Italian late lunch and I like really felt fulfilled. I texted with you a lot that evening. I was like joking around. I like really, you and I were being so funny that night. I watched the new White Lotus, which we'll talk about. I like went to bed at the end of that night just feeling like, and then I masturbated. So I really felt like what a fulfilling day. And there's nothing about that day I would give up to go sit at a bar with a stranger. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for like someone that you're in a great relationship with or someone that you're like really excited about.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're like, I don't want to go on this date with a stranger, don't fucking go. So we have an episode today with Chris Distefano, his third appearance on the podcast. We adore him. It's so fun. We just recorded with him and now we're backing up to do this intro. We just want to say like one thing. He has a very interesting story about his partner and her complications, I guess, with her breast implants. And he speaks on it. And I think it was like a fascinating story to listen to. We just want to go ahead and give a disclaimer up top that Chris is not a medical professional, nor does he claim to be. And everybody's body is so wildly different. And so people might hear this and be like, wow, I feel so seen. Or people might listen to it and be like, that's not my truth. And it's like, that's fine too. And if you ever have any issues with your body or the way you feel, or you think that something could be going on with your body, that you should just talk to your doctor, or a medical professional. Or we just want to say that we know you guys are smart and you get it. But if anything comes up that's kind of medical related, we just wanted to give a little disclaimer.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
I have something medical to talk about. So I just want to read you guys this text that I got from my mom. It involves a listener. So she's so funny. My stepdad had some medical complications. He's in the hospital and he's going to be fine. So I think it's okay to joke about this now. But my mom was sending me like very long text messages about like what's going on. And they're at the ER and there was like some pretty serious shit. She's sending me long text messages about like what's going on. And then I get this really long text message from her. She's being like very chill about this. She's like been at the ER for days, in and out. Like she's just being so like, well, she's talking about the candy she's gonna hand out for Halloween. I'm like, don't you have other stuff on your mind?
My God.
And she sent me this text message and it's very long. So you see something that long and you're like, oh my God, he died.
Yeah.
And it's a photo of my mom. It's a selfie of her and a young girl. And she says, I'm gonna change this girl's name to Jessica. Someone named Jessica who is an ICU nurse. And then she writes in parentheses, maybe. Like allegedly she's a nurse.
Allegedly.
Like, are you at the hospital, Mom? Like, what else would she do there? She lives a few doors away from me. She said that she's a big fan of yours, and she said that she messaged you a lot of times and you never answered her because you probably think she's some kind of weirdo. And she said that when you were in Pittsburgh the last time she messaged you, and she said that you guys could have coffee, and she lives down the street from us, and she thinks that maybe you didn't answer because you thought that she wasn't serious. But anyways, she's originally from New Jersey. She lives here, but she's getting married in New York next Saturday. Bitch, what? Are you busy?
Yeah. I mean, but listen, in your mom's defense, a lot of the time in the hospital is just waiting around. You're bored. You're making friends. Your mom's taking selfies. Like, what else is she doing?
Can you imagine like taking selfies with the nurses when your husband is in the ER? It just really made me laugh. And I love our listeners so much. She gave my mom so much information, where she lives, where she's getting married, how many times she's messaged me. She must think I'm really weird. I invited her for a coffee and I didn't explain.
Your mom's like, I actually invited her to Thanksgiving. I've made you a new friend. Like, you don't have enough.
My mom's like, that's so rude that she didn't message you back. I'll make sure she has a coffee with you.
It's so yes, like your mom has no concept of like
Boundaries.
you know, full DMs and getting a lot of messages, and it's just very funny.
It was
she would be
cute.
like, Raina, this girl said you didn't message her back, so I'm setting you guys up. Here's a selfie.
And I'm trying to like say
Allegedly,
this in a
she's
nice
a
way to her.
nurse.
Allegedly, she's a nurse. Like I like that my mom still like chucked a dig in there just in case. I love that she's like trying to like broker this coffee date for me, and I'm trying to think of a nice way to explain to her. Like a lot of our listeners ask us if we'll meet up for coffee. I would have no time in the day, so I like can't do it. I just thought it was a really adorable older person way
Yeah.
to be in the hospital.
It was
So
really
I thought that was cute. So if you see any of our parents, you can take selfies with them and harass them about coming to lunch with us.
I can share a hospital story. I just have to say that, again, I talked about last week, my brother and his wife had a baby. And when Matt described when it's go time for labor, I was like, hype. I was like, this hype video needs to be made. He was like, it's crazy.
love a hype video.
Everybody's coming in. Everybody's getting their gear on. Everybody's like, it's time to go. He like played it out. Like my brother's like, and I are very similar in how much we love hype videos and like all kinds of stuff right now.
And
We're like all hot on
specifically like Philly sports type
Philly
videos.
sports, yeah. But the way he described, I mean, this is Matt's first child. He's never been in delivery rooms. For him, it was so crazy. And the way he described it was so funny. I was like, where is the like giving labor hype video that we need? Like, I feel like
I never thought about it, but if anybody's
intense,
family, it'd be you.
it's such an intense moment. And everybody's like, it's time. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. It was just funny the way he described it. He was like, I was hype.
That is, I can feel the energy
I
of
know,
it.
I know.
I can feel like the
And they're
music.
like, Matt, grab her leg.
Music
You know?
drops. Uh-huh. I really want this.
I know.
But you guys are such like big
We'll
hype
make
video
the first ever labor hype video.
Ashley has been specifically sending me Philly sports hype videos for years.
Well, I don't follow a lot of sports teams on Instagram. So I do follow, obviously I follow the Eagles. Their Instagram is they've really stepped it up on their social media. I love seeing all their like game day looks and like all the hype videos. And there was this incredible Phillies one. I don't know what's going on like by the time this comes out, but we're in the World Series and there was this insane hype video that just gave me chills. I watched it like 10 times. So yeah, that's one of the ways my brother and I bond, but we literally send memes and reels back all day.
You're so lucky.
I have to get in there because I'll have 3 reels for Matt, and like he does need me to react to everyone. Like he'll be like, "What'd you think of that one about that dog?" I'm like, Matt, it was the first one of the 5 that you sent.
It's this weird thing. It's this behavior that I want that I don't emulate. Like it really does hurt my feelings when other people don't respond to like the reels that I send them. But I do that. I'll watch 3 and I will personally digest them and I don't respond, mentally respond.
I mean, I'm the same way. Like he's like, I saw this that made me think of you. I would like a response. I'm the same way. I mean, I send him memes all day too.
I know you're really lucky. My brother's not on Instagram. He won't do it.
Not at all?
Not at all.
I feel like this is like hearing about you not having a pedicure. I didn't know this. He's not at all.
I mean,
did I know this?
I don't know. I don't speak about it very often. I told my friend the other day that I have 3 stepbrothers, and she was like, I feel like I don't know you at all.
Yeah, you do have a secret step family. And didn't you hook up with one of them?
Okay, this is one time I was in a hot tub with one of them now.
Wait, are you being serious?
Yeah.
You guys touch? Like,
No, but I mean, I was like 19 and I did cross my mind, like maybe.
is he hot?
He is hot.
Why did you do it? This is your fantasy. This is your kink.
Why did I do it? I don't know.
Was he like giving you the vibes? Wait, you were 19. How old was he?
He is, the hot one is like 5 years older than me.
Oh my God. Some hot 24-year-old. Did you know at that point you were into step porn?
I hate this so much.
Anna, don't cut this. But you love step porn now, and you have been the curator of our step stories within the Vibes Only app. Guys, check out the Vibes Only app. But there's not that much in there. But if that's your kink, you're into it. No shame on this end. But did you know? Is that what started it? Was that hot tub?
No.
I can't. We're talking about this while their dad's in the hospital. Sorry, Chip. I've done enough for Chip.
I'm already pee my pants. Why? Because that one time he came downstairs, you were wearing booty shorts, bending
I
over.
was basically wearing lingerie, and he watched me make a sandwich. I've done enough.
You don't understand. On Sunday, I had a conversation with myself that I was not going to talk about this on the podcast.
What, your stepbrother?
The hot tub thing with my stepbrother. Because I said stepbrothers, and Emily was like, what do you, she like did a double take. She's like, I feel like I don't even know you. And then she asked if they were hot. And I was like, what are they?
I heard about them. I remember, I have like a weird memory for some things of like when I remember specifically talking about your secret step family in the car in Chicago. I remember we were driving down like Michigan Avenue. I just remember being in the car.
Okay.
Maybe coming back. I forget.
first
I mean, we've been in
Chicago
Chicago
show?
so many times at this point. No, I think this was in 2019.
Okay.
I think when we did the holiday shows there in 2019, I just vaguely remember hearing about them and like, not this. This is the first I'm hearing about the jacuzzi.
It was like Thanksgiving. We were in the Outer Banks. We're on vacation as a family. I didn't grow up with them. They lived with their mom. They were like not a part of our lives at all.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a brother that was in the home. And they're all married now. So
All right, well, get well soon, Chip.
But I was into step parent, step family, step sibling porn. For a long time, I thought there was really something super fucked up about that. But I discovered that young, like 14.
Well, throwback to my Halloween costume, Cher Horowitz. She was the first person to normalize being into your step family.
Totally.
I mean, her and Josh were ex-stepbrother, stepsister, but I feel like that made people be like, oh, it's all right.
I feel like
We're not really related.
We didn't grow up together. Like we were never in the same home. It was like one vacation together, probably our whole lives.
It's kind of crazy that like there is a world in which there is this like person that could be your age that you are not related to at all. That's just around. Like if they're hot, like
That's
what? Like
hot, right? I was looking at this TikTok that Teresa Giudice did with her like stepkids, and she's like remarried, and he has like a hot son, and she has beautiful daughters. And I was thinking like, what's going on in that house? Because like pheromones are flying. I didn't grow up with you people. I didn't meet them.
Yeah.
They were in high school when I met them. They were my childhood like
Older
siblings. Yeah.
Guys, we are going to talk about a couple recs. We're going to talk about the Tell Me Lies finale. We know you are dying for it. We should have done it last week because we watched this weeks ago. Not to brag.
A month ago. Yeah.
We had the screeners really early, but we wanted to just give a quick rec for a podcast that we were on. We were recently on Drew Barrymore's podcast. So we went and met her. We went to the studio. It was an incredible, surreal experience. Both of us have just been fans of her since we were kids.
My whole life, since E.T.
Yeah. So she was the kindest human. People are like, is she really like that? It's like, yeah, it was unreal
I could have wanted
experience.
and more from somebody who is really ultimately had like a lifelong career as one of the most famous people alive. And she couldn't have been warmer and more kind. And we talked to her about ghosting and some other stuff. It really was a lot of fun. So it's a great episode. Yeah. So we did want to recommend her podcast to you. So our friend Drew Barrymore wants to give you good news on the go every week on her new podcast, Drew's News. Drew is joined by special guests like Rob Lowe, Casey Wilson, Jay Shetty, and even us to help her break down the latest quirky, fun, and inspiring stories in the world. We got to join Drew, as we talked about, to talk about our favorite green flags in relationships and the latest dating terms everyone's got to know. We really did just have so much fun with her on that episode.
Gosh, so good.
You guys can catch new episodes of Drew's News every Friday, wherever you get your podcasts, and make sure you listen to our episode, Girls Gotta Eat, on solutions to ghosting, which we recorded with her.
Yes. This was such a fun conversation about ghosting that we had with her. Drew told us that she'd been ghosted. We were like, what the fuck? Who would ghost you?
Yeah.
But then we really came up with a three-prong three-prong approach. That is tough.
Three-prong approach. You really got to think it through. Take a moment.
Yeah. So we loved what we talked about. We loved the structure of her podcast and everything we talked about. So definitely go listen to our episode, and then you can listen to others too. We just are huge fans of like how they set up. So I basically said that if someone ghosts you, you should send them a ghost emoji. And someone DM'd me that she did it, and
On Halloween?
it worked. No, this was prior to Halloween. This DM came through. So she DM'd me and she said, the ghost emoji worked. You're a genius. And she sent me the screenshot. So I don't know all the details of like how long she felt she had been ghosted, how long since they had communicated, but basically she sent him a ghost emoji, and Raina, he wrote back.
I'm looking at the length. It's long.
The most guy response that we've been talking about this for years.
Oh my God, I know exactly what's going to be.
You know exactly what's going to happen.
Oh my God.
He wrote back, it's been a long month, 5 Gs. It's been a long month, LOL. I'm finally back in Dallas, but getting home was crazy. My flight got canceled and then couldn't get an Uber home at DFW until 2 a.m. And then when I got back to my apartment, my Jeep had been towed 12 days ago and had to pay $500 to get it out, LOL.
What does that have to do with you not texting me at all?
Well, now I'm wondering if she just
Had to get an Uber. What?
if she just got ghosted, she thought she got ghosted for like a weekend or like a couple days. Like I'm wondering how long. To me, like if every situation is different, because again, if like ghosting could be that someone like bailed on plans that you had solidified, like Drew talks about in that podcast, but she got the response. She said that it worked. I mean, it's not going to work for everybody, but the fact that he responded back with like, life has just been really crazy and my car got towed and I had to get back to the
You and I talk about this all the time offline also. I think that like most people are strangers to you. They just meet you on a dating app. They go out with you once and then life happens and you are essentially a stranger and you're the thing that gets jettisoned, right? If they can't fit everything into the day, you're the thing they're not going to fit into the day. People are people. It's fine. It's like not that deep. But I think men sometimes think you need more of an explanation than you do. Like he's like, let me just hit her with 7 excuses. And he could have just been like, oh man, like tough travel day. I'm so sorry.
Well, yeah. Again, I don't know the backstory. I don't know how long this was of a ghost. Of him going dark, you know?
It just feels like a male response. I don't think women don't do that often.
The most. I wrote back to her, oh my God, also why is that the most typical guy response? Overshare. We have a friend that had an insane situation. It was the most overshare. It made me realize that guys need therapy or they need to talk to their friends more, because the way that they dump on us sometimes as just casual dates is crazy. Not all the time. Some guys have their shit together, but the oversharing, sometimes you're like, oh my God, do you have anybody in your life that you're talking to?
Can you not self-edit at all? Like this feels like a learned behavior. I mean, truly, we'll ask her if we can share this. I mean, this guy basically checked in after sort of like ghosting out on her, which was no big deal. She felt fine about it, and he gave her the most in-depth, outrageous answer to why he'd ghosted her.
Of what happened with the girl before. He was basically kind of seen somebody that was more far ahead in the game than she was, and they ended it, but like the emotional dumping was crazy.
Yes, it feels like a man. Women would never do this. Maybe. I don't know, but
we would never do that. We have already shared all that with our friends, our family, our therapists. Like we very rarely roll like that. We would be mortified if we did.
We had the fight in the shower. We journaled about it. We told our mom and all of our friends. Do you ever look in the mirror and talk to yourself? Every once in a while I do.
A couple episodes ago, I said that I do affirmations, but I don't do them in the mirror. So my answer is no, but no shade.
We are going to have an episode coming up where somebody asked us, where do you cry? And I have been thinking about this for weeks.
Oh my God, yeah.
Sometimes I sit in front of the mirror when I cry and I do some self-talk, but I watch myself cry.
Because you think you look pretty?
I do look really pretty.
That sounds like narcissism. To watch yourself cry. Maybe you should go on your Instagram story next time.
I will never do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I am when I cry in front of the mirror.
You like to watch yourself cry. Okay, well, we are just going to talk about a couple of our partners and then keep it moving. I am telling you guys about Nutrafol. This is a product that I have been using since the quarantine. I feel like it has had such an impact on my hair and the way that my hair looks and feels. 30 million women are impacted by weakened or thinning hair. If you're among them, know that you're not alone and there is a solution you can trust to deliver results. We talked about their campaign a couple weeks ago and just sharing these stories. And this is something that so many women are affected by. And it can be really frustrating when you just notice your hair changing as you age or whatever is going on in your body. And Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement clinically shown to improve your hair growth, thickness, and visible scalp coverage. I like that they threw that in there, this scalp coverage. Like I've taken breaks just because of my own like laziness, procrastination before, and I feel like I can see the difference. And then once I pick back up with my regular usage, I notice even like here, right near my hairline. And I noticed my hair feeling thicker. And again, it can take a couple months. For me, I really noticed after like 2.5 months, I feel like it started, I noticed improved hair growth. But in a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months. So again, it does take a little bit of time. You got to stay regular with it. But 3,000 plus top doctors and stylists recommend Nutrafol as an effective and high quality solution for healthier hair. So whatever you guys have going on, it's this physician formulated product using natural drug-free medical grade ingredients in consistently effective dosages so you get the most reliable results. And you take your 2 capsules in the morning and the night. Personally, I've never really had a problem with growth. It grows pretty fast, but I have noticed it thinning over the years, and I just wanted to have more volume and thickness. So that's why I take Nutrafol. And you guys can too. So you can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code GGE15 to save $15 off your first month's subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it is only available to U.S. customers for a limited time. Plus free shipping on every order. Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com. That is spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE15.
Yeah. And guys, the holidays are just around the corner, and HelloFresh makes this busy time of year easier with chef-crafted recipes, tons of stuff for the holidays. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, has great selections for everyone. You can go to HelloFresh.com/GGE65 and use the code GGE65 for 65% off plus free shipping. I just have always loved cooking it. HelloFresh has so many different options. The ingredients come pre-portioned. It's not for a high skill level. So if you don't even know how to cook at all, they make it so simple. They break it all down for you. There's photographs of everything and really easy to follow recipes. If you want something quick and easy, they have 20-minute recipes. If you want vegetarian or stuff that's good for kids, they just break it all down for you. And then one thing that they pointed out is HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout. So if you're trying to save money for the holidays to buy gifts for people, this is a great way to do it. If you just want to spend less time in the kitchen, also, they have lots of different easy options for you. There's 35 weekly recipes and tons of stuff that is easy cleanup. And I just picked out some of my favorite ones that are on the website right now. So in terms of variety, you really can cook something different 7 days a week and have so much for breakfast, lunch, snacks, dinner, all kinds of stuff. So right now I'm liking the curry spiced chickpea bowls, firecracker meatballs. We love a meatball in this family, and pork sausage rigatoni rosa with zucchini. I love how much variety there is, whether you have a date coming over or friends or lots of people coming over for the holidays. They just make it so simple. And then if you want flexibility, they have plans that work with your schedule, and you can change your preferences, delivery days, addresses, everything with just a click. So everything I've ever made, easy, delicious, really great. We're going to give you guys a discount. You can go to HelloFresh.com/GGE65 and use the code GGE65 for 65% off plus free shipping.
Okay, so really quickly, we did want to address the Tell Me Lies finale. Address. Yeah, people are like, are you going to address this? So again, not to brag, but we saw this a while back because we got the screeners and we blew through them.
Yes.
Because they're a partner of ours. So we love them. We love the show so much. Spoiler alerts ahead. The finale, Steven got back with Vanessa and was basically like, fuck you, which was crazy. Like, that seemed a little unrealistic to me, but I guess what are you going to expect from this guy?
When I started the show, I just thought this is like run of the mill kind of fuck boy. And I was like, which girl does he really want to be with? I still thought he kind of wanted to be with Vanessa, and that was his primary person. I went back and forth, and the character kind of takes a turn for me because I thought this was just your average fuckboy, and then he's like a pathological liar and kind of really mean, and the stuff he does starts to become like more and more sick all the way towards the end where you see that he like was in that car crash, and yeah, he was essentially responsible for the death of one of the main characters and what the whole plot line is about. So I don't know, the character took a turn for me. I thought it was sort of a little bit lighter in the first couple episodes, then it got a little heavier, and then I thought they just kept doing things to make him worse.
Yeah, I mean, and then basically at the very end, you now realize that he is with, was he engaged? He ends up with, years later, again, 5 years ahead, he's with her like best friend, who we were saying as a group, we were talking with Anna and Bella earlier, that like you had to even remember who that girl was. Like they inserted this phone call like the previous episode just so you remembered who she was because she was not an integral character. So I guess it was just to show that he has infiltrated every part of her life.
It just felt unnecessary to me when they replayed this season on Tell Me Lies and they looped her into it. It took me a second to even remember who that character was because she was such a small role on the show. And then he shows up and he's with her. And I think they took every opportunity to show what a piece of garbage he is. And it was like too much.
Yes. Okay. So this is based on a book. I didn't read the book, but I started reading about the differences between the show and the book. And I found this to be fascinating. Do you know any of this?
No, but I love to Google this
Okay,
stuff
you're going to die.
afterwards.
So in the book, Macy was actually dating Steven like in their hometown. Macy was her friend before she goes to college. And all this time, Macy had a secret boyfriend and Lucy didn't really know who it was. Turns out it was Steven.
Okay.
So Macy died before they go to college. That was her friend before.
Oh.
So it was not a college roommate. It was her friend, hometown friend.
Okay.
And same car crash situation. Macy was giving him roadhead when he totaled her car and killed her, it says. He walked away from her body without telling anyone he was a driver because he didn't want to disrupt his life and future. So in the end, there's no like friend that he gets with. She kind of realizes the Macy thing at the end, I guess, in the book. And then she reconciles with her mom. And the unforgivable thing that Lucy caught her mom doing was cheating on her dad with this guy that was Lucy's crush and
high
Macy's
school kid?
older brother.
That's crazy.
So this guy, Gabe, Lucy's old crush and Macy's older brother. I'm not certain that this was like an underage situation. It's probably like a of age, young kid still. So the mom
Who's the older
cheated with
brother?
this
kid.
So
That's some tea.
and then it says, at Bree's wedding, she finally realizes that Steven just saw her as a source of entertainment. And now she knows that she says, quote, I would never want to be that to anybody, not in a million years. So those are kind of the differences that Macy was like this childhood friend and still Steven and then the mom thing. But interesting the way they changed it.
I liked the way that they wrapped the book up because there is sort of like a takeaway of like what was the point of all this. And it was like, oh, she was just like this entertainment thing, like you said. At the end of the show, I was just like, I didn't understand they wrapped up a lot of the storylines. He's like engaged to her friend that wasn't a part of the show.
She wasn't a part of the show
at all. And then like they allude to the fact that the big football player guy. They allude to the fact that his brother killed himself or something.
That's what I assumed.
That's what I assume, but they don't ever like show it. And then all these people are just ending up with people they met when they were 18, which I find completely unrealistic. She ends up with Max.
I will say the thing that I hated was her drunkenly sleeping with Evan.
Yeah, it made me hate the character.
I know. You kind of stopped rooting for anybody.
Yes.
I mean, in terms of I still was rooting for Bree and Evan, but I don't know all those people's outcomes in the book. I just wanted to read the main part.
I forgot also that she sleeps with Evan, which makes her a completely unsympathetic character. And you do completely, I don't care that he married her best friend now. I don't care about it.
These people are young. They were drunk. She needed consoling. I'm not giving excuses. I'm just like, it's not like the most outlandish thing in the world, but you're like, ugh, really?
But
like, also, Evan, how could you do it? I don't know.
It's not a storyline. It's just, they just slipped it in there to like add this thing. And like, and I don't know. There was no point to it. So it's just, what is it to make me hate her?
So listen, guys, we like the show, but it ended. I don't know. I of course I don't know how shows get adapted into TV shows. I don't know all the rhyme and reason behind it, but it was interesting the changes that they made.
I'm always fascinated by it. Thank you for sharing those with me. And I still recommend the show. I think I really enjoyed it. I like hung on every single episode. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's on Hulu and it's 10 episodes. And I really enjoyed the show a lot.
Yes, and White Lotus is back. Love the first episode. We'll keep diving into this. Love is Blind. Obsessed with it too. It's hard to talk about these things because they're not current as we record, but we're obsessed with both of those and we're like hanging on every episode the second they drop. Okay, well, we are going to get into it with Chris, but before we do, I am going to tell you guys about Buffy. We love Buffy so much. Everything that they make award-winning bedding that's soft on you and soft on the earth. They have innovative design, earth-friendly materials to make bedding that's softer, safer, and also better for our planet. So they have the Buffy Breeze. There is a Breeze sheet set. It's so soft and cool. It's gentle on your skin. Again, these sheets are such game changers. Like we just did a gift guide recently with really elite publication that'll be coming out. And like I recommended sheets. Like if you were staying the night at someone's place and you don't like their bedding, get them new bedding.
It's the best gift for the holidays. It's the best way to upgrade your partner's space.
Yes, or your own space. So there's the Breeze Comforter, of course. It's going to keep you cool. If you are a hot sleeper, this is the most iconic comforter in existence. It's filled with eucalyptus fibers instead of polyester down that retains the heat. So again, ideal for hot sleepers, summer climates, or partners who sleep at different temperatures. But it keeps you warm too. It's like not this thin little blanket. Don't get it twisted. But that is going to be for that. And then of course the Cloud Comforter. That's what I have both of them, but I love the Cloud now for like the winter time. And then the soft eucalyptus sheets. And I love the soft hemp sheets. Really just whatever you guys are into, material wise, they're going to have you covered. They have some really cool colors. You can really make your bedroom pop, or you can just go with the natural colors. The colors are dyed using natural skin safe botanical dyes, as opposed to conventional synthetic chemical dyes found in apparel and bedding. We are obsessed. There's a 7-night at-home free trial. You can experience Buffy before committing to buying it. Shipping is free, and customers enjoy a 100-night free returns policy. They're so confident that you guys are going to love it, and we are too. Again, this is one of our longest partners. It's everything that's on our bedding. We're obsessed. So for $20 off your Buffy order, visit buffy.co and enter GGE. That is buffy.co, promo code GGE for $20 off.
Yes. And I'm just going to say it. The only reason why I take showers is to use Native body wash. I love it. The smells are so good. They are long lasting. I love the way that they feel on my skin. And we have been longtime fans of Native and really everything that they do. So they do sunscreen, they do deodorant. They have you covered in so many different places in the bathroom, but
Your body.
all over your body. I look forward to when I wrap up working out that I can get into the shower and use the Native body wash. So it feels really great on my skin. It leaves me feeling moisturized. My skin feels silky smooth and it's residue free. If you guys are watching the YouTube, you see how good my skin looks. It's because of Native. And then they have you covered when it comes to other personal care needs. So they, like I said, have deodorants and toothpaste as well. You can treat yourself to the ultimate skincare package and don't miss out on their new limited edition seasonal scents in their cabin collection. So my favorite thing is seeing what scents they're going to come out with every season. So right now they have incredible limited edition cabin collection smells. So it is warm cider and cinnamon, cashmere and rain, toasted marshmallow and vanilla. That one is my favorite. And our friend that works for them says it sells out all the time. People are obsessed with it. And they have wildwood and cardamom. It lingers on me. I don't even need perfume. I love it. I love the way it feels. It makes the shower so nice and effective. And we're going to give you guys a discount so you can check it out. You can upgrade your shower routine with Native body wash. Go to nativedeo.com/GGEDEO or use the promo code GGEDEO at checkout to get 40% off your first 3-pack of Native body wash. That's 40% off your first 3-pack of Native body wash by going to nativedeo.com/GGEDEO or use promo code GGEDEO at checkout.
Okay,
guys, we are so excited to welcome back one of the now most recurringest guests in the history of the podcast. He is a hysterical New York City comedian. He is the co-host of Hey Babe podcast. He is the host of Chrissy Chaos podcast. His new special, Speshy Weshy, is out on Netflix right now. Please welcome to the show our family, Chris Distefano.
Hello, how are you?
Family reunion.
Look at this. And now this is Azul.
Azul.
Hi, I like him, and he's a rescue.
He's your son now.
That is literally, I've
He's
always wanted.
on brand.
Well, Azul he's Puerto Rican.
That's what I was
So,
saying.
yes, I only will father Latinos. It doesn't matter. And if
He can feel that. He's just like, this is my, what's father? This is my in
put on some
Spanish.
Bad Bunny, make him feel better. Make him feel good. How good is Bad Bunny?
I love Bad Bunny.
Yeah, I love Bad Bunny too.
When he was at the VMAs and he kissed his
He kissed his male dancer.
dancer
Yeah.
and his male dancer.
Yeah.
I was watching with my brother. My brother was
Yeah.
like, that is the dopest thing I've ever seen. I was like, okay, Matt.
Just started making out with a guy. That's that's when I became a fan.
I became a fan when I heard Daddy Yankee. It was 2011. I've been into
Wow.
reggaeton and Latin rap music from the beginning.
And they've been in you.
Not as much as you'd expect.
Not-
Really interesting. Well, Reina.
I can get in there. And Reina means queen in Spanish.
It actually does. Yeah, you're right. Good for you.
Chris, we're so excited to have you back. This is your third time on the podcast.
Is that like getting who's the most? Like who do I have
Jared
to get?
Free.
Jared.
How many is he? Is he like
But
untouchable?
But three.
Really?
3 by himself and 1
3
with
by-
Jordana, I think.
Another
So I'm the
person.
most by a Catholic
Right.
so far. Okay, good.
Most by a father.
Okay, good. Most by a father.
Most repeat dad.
There you go. So at least I have one title.
Chris, I have to tell you, I was watching you yesterday morning
can't.
on Fox
With Daytime
5
Chrissy.
with Rosanna Scotto. I don't understand. How do you get on morning television? It's so... Are your children in school with the children of these hosts? Have you had sex with a bunch of them and you know where the bodies are buried? Chris, I was watching you on daytime television. You, Wendy Cummings, and 2 other women talk about feet female body image, and you are curled up in a ball like, no one look at me or ask me any questions.
Yeah. So what happened was with that is I got booked. I think the very first one was when Whitney Cummings was filling in for Wendy Williams. She asked me to come on her show and, be a guest. And then I had before the show, the hair and makeup guy was like, this really flamboyant gay guy. He was like, you're gonna have so much fun. You're gonna be great. It's gonna be good. And then I'll be like right here. I'll take your makeup off. We'll talk about your daughters. He was just like great. And we were having a good time.
Incredible.
Yeah. And he was like whispering. He was so good, positive energy. And then I went out there and I just started swinging for the fences with jokes.
Chris, the way people react to you, they just look at the ground. They don't even know what to do.
And the look on your face is like, am I going to get away with it?
Yeah, it was like a 10 o'clock in the morning. This TV audience, so everybody else is doing knock jokes, and Michelle Buteau is up there being like, yeah, like a politician, like girl power, like that. Everyone's clapping, and then I'm just out there doing jokes about how I wish Travis Barker would die in a plane crash, and then they're like, wait, what? But they're jokes, and then I'm doing Confederate Civil War jokes, and they're like, what is happening? And I'm doing abortion jokes with Whitney Cummings, and they're all bombing so bad. But then I'm mad at this, and then when I go off the set, that guy who was like, yeah. Everybody left. My green room was vacant. Nobody was there. They didn't even give me a car home. They're like, you can get on the train. And so, and I then after that, me and Homeless Pimp, my guy, Mike Lavin, Homeless Pimp, who does all my production stuff, he was like, dude, because I was like, dude, I just bombed so hard on daytime TV. He was like, we have to get the footage. And we watched the footage, and we were on the floor, dying, to the point where I almost burst my appendix because we were dying laughing on how hard I was bombing. And I was like, you know what? Clip it. I was like, put all that stuff out. Because I remember that night, Michelle Buteau called me, and she was like, it's going to be okay, sweetie. Don't even worry about it. And I was like, lady, I'm not looking to be a daytime television fucking host. I went with the intention of being a comic. So I went on, and so I edited it, and I put it out there, and it got a decent amount of traction. I was like, oh, Chrissy Daytimes, I'll come bomb on your show. And then I started going on all these daytime shows and just be like, I'm going to do the jokes as if this was late night. As if this was 2 o'clock in the morning at the Comedy Cellar, that's how I'm approaching the show.
Chris, you're on The View. I don't know how this happens. Ashley and I have to promise we're not going to say penis on morning television. Yeah. And you are talking about insane shit.
No, I
You're
literally
just
I went on Fox 5 yesterday. They have a tease where they're teasing who the new co-host is, and I'm in a booth, whatever. And then there was it was Halloween, so I was dressed up like a hot dog. Yeah. And then there was this woman dressed up like an alien, doing all these alien things, but it was whatever. And they literally 5 seconds before, they're like, do not be political. You cannot make any political jokes. I was like, 100%. Gotcha. As soon as that camera came on me, they're like, here's our co-host coming up at the 9 o'clock hour, Chris Distefano. I was like, hey, how you guys doing? I'm Chris Distefano. I was like, and this is Bill de Blasio. And I was like, this is what Bill de Blasio does now. And it's just she's just an alien on the wall. And they were like, because my thing is this, if we're going to go on these daytime things, then be a comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying just try to get in trouble. But if you have a joke that you think is good enough, just do it. Don't be scared, because what's the point? What am I going to just go on there and then be clapping like everyone, like it's a TED Talk, and then I look like an asshole? That's not what I want to do in my career.
And that doesn't benefit you in any way.
No, it benefits me to have it on social media and have people be like, this is so cringe.
That's going to sell the tickets and elevate your brand.
Yeah, but yesterday with Rosanna Scotto, shout out Rosanna Scotto, she's the best. She knows her kids listen, and she was like, don't curse or yell a slur, and then you're good. And I was like, great. Yeah.
Daytime Chrissy is I'm a stan. It's my favorite thing that you do. But there was
He's
this one show you went on with a bunch of guys. Was it Nick Cannon?
Nick Cannon show. And then it was canceled a week later.
I was wondering what happened to that show. And Mike, the situation was on there, and no one knew what to think of you. And you were just saying stuff that they weren't getting in the moment.
Yeah.
And you could watch their faces digest the joke and then laugh. I was like, this is amazing
well,
TV.
just because I can't handle, when Mike, the situation, was talking earnestly about stuff, I was like, I'm not going to allow this. I was like, nope, Mike, shut up. Just stop. We don't care about your thing. Just, we're doing jokes.
Chris, I can't believe any daytime producer watches a clip and then invites you on. I feel like they get what they deserve.
But it's good TV. It's
just,
otherwise it's kind of just vanilla.
What did you, literally yesterday I was doing a segment segment with this guy, Larry, who's like an event planner who's always on Fox 5, and he's great, this guy. But, it was like just this segment that wasn't really going anywhere. So, like, out of nowhere, I was like, Larry kissed me on the lips before the show. And they were like, excuse me? I was like, he kissed me on the lips. just to do something. And like, literally, I see the cameraman's hand shaking because he's like trying to hold in laughter. I always look at the camera people and the union people. If they're laughing, you're doing good.
100%.
Us too. We always try to see if Bella and Anna are laughing.
Yes, because they're jaded.
I know I'm doing well.
Bella and Anna, like they're jaded. They listen to this all the time. They don't care.
It is true. Like, I loved watching the clip of you talking about body image with 3 women because I've heard those commentaries before, but watching you do it, you are curled up in the chair. Both of your legs are like up. Your knees are in your belly button. You're like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, my daughter, after that one, my daughter was like, oh, Layla's mommy said that she saw you on a show yesterday and that you said bad words. And I was like, no, I didn't. And then I was like, no, it was like, Daddy does comedy. She was like, I know. And then, my daughter says to me, anytime like I've gotten in like any kind of trouble, my daughter is always like, I'll always support you, Daddy. You'll always have at least one fan. I'm like, well, you're not old enough to buy tickets. So
You mean nothing to me.
yeah, I was like, I would have to give you the money to buy the ticket, so we'll be fucking homeless if it's just you.
So you've had another daughter since the last time you came on the show.
Wow, that is true. I have yet another Puerto Rican daughter as well, keeping the theme.
Yeah,
I go Latina.
Same mother,
Same mama. We had broken up in the right before the Pandy Wandy, and then we got back together in it. Had another baby. Now we have like a house. Like my whole life has like changed. I have really 3 kids because my stepson. So I'm pretty much in his. I take care of him. So 3 children, a house on Staten Island.
We've been to it.
You've come to it. Mm-hmm. And by the way, Jasmine, my girl, you're one of the only. You're one of the only women in the comedy entertainment world that she's like, I like those girls. Like even today.
Do you think that she doesn't think I'm pretty enough?
Yeah,
to
we're not
with
threatening.
You?
No. She does think you girls are pretty, and she's like,
Now.
oh, I like them.
Our new faces.
Yes, new faces. She likes you with money. Yes.
She was unsure in 2018.
Yeah,
she was like, I don't want you going over there.
Yeah, 28. Before you had the fillers and all that stuff.
Before
but
I
now
got
she's
veneers, it's true.
But she likes you girls,
That's
which is
good
good.
to know. Yeah.
She likes you too, and she likes like Rachel Feinstein, Jessica Kirsten.
Do you think she has a sense for women that are non-threatening and women that like are kind of too flirty, actually want to get with you?
I think that we have worlds, right? We have BCAD. We have, pre 9/11, post 9/11. We have worlds. We have implants, Jasmine. We have fake boobs, Jasmine, FBJ. We have FBJ fakes boobs, Jasmine. And now we have Jasmine explants or how do you say it? Explants or exoplants? When they take the boobs out.
She had them before. And
Jasmine
now she
had
does
fake
not.
boobs since I've known her, since 2014. Then over the summer, we took a little Hamptons trip and Jazz got her boobs removed. And this Jasmine, the Jasmine with no boobs after the explant, is literally a different woman. I have a new partner, and it's Jasmine with no tits.
Wait, there's so much to unpack.
Is this like blowing the whistle on anti-breast implants?
Yes.
Like, are you saying they affected her body or just psychologically?
Here's what I'm saying. Jasmine was telling me, because, I've talked about it multiple times on the podcast with you two personally. We've had a very tumultuous relationship at times, breaking up, getting back together, like fire, like that energy, and it's crazy. And it's like something that's drawn to you, but also something like this will kill you. Mm-hmm. And this is not good for like a family. So what happened is she was telling me since 2014, she was like, every time like we'd get into an argument, she would like be like, my tits make me crazy. Like, I fucking hate that these are in my body. I hate these. And I was like, and I never believed it. I was just like, whatever. No, I was like, no, you just crazy, girl. Like, like whatever. And then it got to a point after my youngest daughter was born, she had to get some type of surgical intervention because I have now 3rd kid, like drooping, or they were like, oh, this one could be leaking. Like, you need to do something.
For sure.
So she was like, I really want to get my boobs removed. Like, I think I'm telling you, she was like, it's just something I can't explain, but I'm stressed out and upset all the time because of my boobs. I don't want them in my body. And then I was like, all right, so let's get them out then. Like, if that's what you want, let's do that. I'll pay thousands of dollars for you to have smaller boobs and and be happy about it.
I can relate.
Every guy's dream. Yeah, Raina can relate more than anybody.
So what happened is over the course of the couple of months, she really like little by little like started to become like in moments where like it would be like a huge fight or like 1,000 questions. The questions weren't coming. The fight wasn't happening. It was almost to the point where I was like, is she planning on like leaving me? Did she have a psychotic break where now she's so nuts where she's like, everything is like, okay. And then the one day I'm going to come home, she's going to blow my head up with a shotgun.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? And then as time went on, I realized from talking to her, from talking to doctors, that there's like a lot of new research out now, like with plastic surgery, any type of plastic surgery, especially the boobs, because it's near your heart, your body goes into like a fight or flight issue, like for the duration that you have them in your body is saying, I'm rejecting these. I don't know what that is. So I will send cortisol and stress hormones and put it at the top every second of your waking life until you get them out, because your body doesn't comprehend what's going on. It wasn't designed for that. And Jasmine told me that. She was like, I'm telling you, I would be so angry already to begin with, and then you would do something and I'd be level and I would go off the rails. Where now those are out. Now it's like she's definitely gotten really mad at me before, but like I deserved it, you know, like so.
Now you do worse shit
Now
because you know she won't get it.
Yeah,
You've raised your bar too.
Now I'm like, cheating with ISIS, you know, like I'm doing terrorism and infidelity, like everything. And so she said to me though, she was like, I'm telling you, like once like these came out, like I just feel like a different person. And I sense that. So now all those times when I would just be like, feel trapped with her or feel like, what am I doing? Like I would just be like thinking about like, how do I get out of this? Now it's starting to be like, wait, why? I don't want to get out of this. Like we have family, we have children, we have a beautiful house. Like this person is a person that like can tolerate like me. It's made me a better person because I'm like, okay, now I don't want to ruin this. I was always acting from a point of, let me just do something subconsciously to ruin my life, to ruin this so I can get out of it and whatever. But now it's like, no. Like now I'm like, wait a second. I don't want to ruin this anymore. Now I'm like, wait, because I think a lot of times what happens, and it took me a while to think this, and I think it's because of, you know, when she went through her body change, like there was so many changes for the both of us that happened. But I think what happens is sometimes like you don't know what you want because you already have it. You're always like looking, but it's like, no, you have what you want. This is why you're because I think it's like a defense, it's like a survival thing where I'm like, oh, I always have to keep getting better, get more. When it's like, wait, if you just slow your life down and you're like, I have all these, what do I want? What else do I need? I don't need anything else. So like live in this comfort. Like it'd be a great, 40 plus years, or however long you live, to like have this comfort that I thought I was searching for. I thought it was out there, but it's in here. Only when her and I started to get like closer. And we also got to a point after 8 years of being like, is this what you want your life to be? Like I had to ask myself that, like independent of her, like, is this what you want? You want to constantly like be, thinking about like how you're going to do co-parent visits with her or what, next year is going to look like. Should Delilah's, my oldest one, should she go to school in my neighborhood or hers? Like, is that what you want your life to be? And it's like, what do you want to be? You want to be 45 years old, single, hooking up with girls? Is this what you want? Mm-hmm. And it's like, if that happens, that happens. But it's like, do not put yourself in a position to make that happen. Don't do that. And so I don't now, and listen, it's been 4 months now, 3 months. Beginning of August, so it's November. So I'm good at math. We would have keep going to couples therapy for years. And the therapist would always say the same thing. Why don't you two just try? Like, why don't you actually really, like for 6 months, just try?
What, to break up? Or
No. Just try to be together. And then after 6 months,
like
if you can't do it, just commit. Any problem, you're saying you're not leaving. It doesn't matter how bad it is. For 6 months, you're going to stay and fight for as long as you can. And we never really did that. One of us would just be like, I can't do this, bye.
Because of her titties.
Because of her titties. And because of me. There's a second component that I haven't got to.
You and her tits.
Yes, I have her tits now. There's a second component.
They're in your butt now. Can I just give people some backstory also?
Yes.
For years, like you've talked about this in your comedy specials and in interviews, like the crazy amounts of like jealousy fighting going through your phone.
Yes. So 2 big things happened. One, no more, Jazz doesn't have tits anymore. Which, by the way, my mind shift. I used to be, I'll be very honest, like attracted to big boobs, big lips, fake, but all that. But now what I see in that, and I don't know if it's just a maturity thing, and if there's many beautiful women that have plastic surgery, and if you do it for you, whatever it is, something in me would be like, no, like you, if you're gonna adjust your boobs and adjust your lips and adjust your butt. If it makes you happier, great. But for me, it feels like I don't want that anymore. I don't want to adjust my body. There's something going on where you don't like yourself.
Well, there's a line too.
Yeah. So I think that for me, that's what I like. The way Jasmine is like her natural state is like so much more beautiful than her enhanced state. But the second huge component is what changed in my life, and it was especially in our careers. You know, like you ever like jump in a cold shower or cold water and like you can't breathe. Like you can breathe, but you're like, because it's like so much. Like you're like, you know. So I got completely off of social media. You can only access me if you have my cell phone number, or if you go through Homeless Pimp or the person who runs my social media.
Oh, like someone else runs it.
Someone runs it. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because of our careers, like we can't just stop. But I don't even have the password to my Instagram, Twitter,
my
TikTok,
gosh.
Snap. I don't have any access to it. So people will text me sometimes. They'd be like, hey, what are you mad at me? Like you haven't responded to one story in 2 months. I'm like, buddy, I don't have any way to access to it. Because what happened was I found myself in constant comparison to not only others, but to myself on social media. And I was constantly being pulled in all these different directions. Like you would have a show, right? I would do a show. And then after the show, I would look for admiration, because people talk a lot about negative comments. That's all we focus on, right? Is how negative, these negative comments on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. But the positive comments throw your balance off as well. I feel like the negative and positive comments are equally as damaging.
Because they're too much?
I don't think the human brain is designed to take in millions or thousands of comments from people all over the world.
No, it's not. We've had therapists on it. We're not at all. You're not equipped to handle feedback, that feedback loop from thousands of people.
So I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm going to make my life a lot smaller. I'm going to get off social media. And that first day when I did it, when I gave the keys of all of it to this guy, I felt like I was in a cold shower. Like I remember I was having like palpable, because it is a withdrawal. It is a thing where you start to think then, how am I going to connect with the fans? Or you even start to think, well, now I guess no one's going to tell me they like me anymore. How can I ever hear it again? Because, you know, that's where my mind was going. It wasn't really the negative. The negative you're happy to walk away from. But it's the positive comments, I think, that keep us sucked in. Is you're looking for someone to say how much they love you.
It's like a dopamine hit every time.
Exactly. So I knew that. So I was like, this dopamine hit is going to need to be replaced somewhere. So try to replace it with something positive. So now I intermittent fast. I do.
Now I starve myself.
Yeah, so now I only eat in a 4-hour window, and then I jerk off in the 4th hour.
In my cold shower.
Yeah, in the cold shower, I just jerk off onto a bag of fucking beans and baby carrots. So I love Teddy Roosevelt. You know me, I'm a history jerk off. So Teddy Roosevelt said, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yes.
And when he said that, I know he said that 150 years ago, but I was like, the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, it really is. And something clicked in me where I was like, you know, I did shows in the UK and I had a great time with the shows. And for me, living in the moment with no social media, had a fantastic time. Now, if I would have done that with social media, what probably would have happened is I would have compared myself to other people who were there at that time or other people I've been there. And did they sell bigger venues than me? Did they do this? Did they do that? Looking at other people's, social media, what did they do when they were there? And I didn't do any of that. I just genuinely enjoyed it with the people I was there with. For me, the venue size and the fans who were there was enough. And I just was happy with it. And I don't know, like I feel now, it's made me be able to make the choice. Like I don't really do anything, at least in the last 2 months. I haven't done anything that I really didn't want to do. I even turned down a movie 2 weeks ago because I was like, I just don't want to go for 3 days and be away from the kids and miss yet another one of my daughter's track meets and what it's going to do to my body flying cross country. I just don't want to do it because when you make your world small like that, you're like, well, I don't need the movie. I don't need any. I'm happy with how my life is the exact way I want it. And that, for me, was only possible by getting off social media. And then that has improved the relationship with Jasmine and I, because there was a lot of times where, like, I would start an argument with her about something subconsciously or create some web thing to cause a fight with her because, some, really beautiful girl who's a doctor had, DM'd me a month ago that how much she loved my comedy. And then I start to fantasize, well, what would it be like to be with her? It's not like I would even respond, or if I did respond, it wasn't, too much, but it was enough to be implanted in my brain to be like, well, what about that? What about out there? And then it goes back to you're searching for what you want because you already have it. So that getting off that social media has helped me like immensely. And I got to be honest, in just roughly 2-3 months, I don't miss it like at all. And I understand that I'm in a privileged position to be able to pay someone to run it for me. And I'm still on it every day, texting him, put this caption, put this clip, approving. Like it's still very much a part of my business, but you will not be able to get to me unless you already previously know me or I allow you access. And I needed to do that for me because I feel like the path I was going, I was 1000% going to make a mistake somewhere. Like, and women, sure, but also, there's people that try to suck you in to do gigs you don't want to do, to get involved in products you don't want to be a part of. Like, now you're pitching, some stupid altcoin because somebody got in touch with you, and then next thing you know, you're getting investigated by the SEC. That's not that didn't really happen, but I'm just scenarios. Like, there's all these things where, and now it's like, you know what? Every day my head is up off my phone with my kids. I'm with the homework. We're watching movies. We're doing all this stuff. Where it used to be like, I'd be like, oh, baby, I can't tell you how many times I've been, babe, hold on. Daddy just has to post one thing and respond to one thing. And then it was always one thing. And now it's like, after a while, you get bored of looking at your phone.
You do, and it starts to like hurt your brain, or like sometimes I'll feel like a little bit of nausea. Like I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I scrolling for hours? Like, why I should be in bed.
And
or
listen,
I should
you may not have like I felt like I needed to do this. I'm not suggesting everybody do this.
No. It doesn't. It's just regardless is an important point.
Yeah,
I think that it's really hard when you are the brand. You're not like you're not a water bottle. Like you're the brand. And so much of your self-worth is tied to other people's opinions, strangers' opinions of you. And it becomes this crazy loop of like negative and positive. I got to chase the positive. And I think so much of yours were girls trying to sleep with you or hook up with you. And how could it not interfere with your relationship and your time with your daughters? And like, what would it be like if I just had this 24-year-old girlfriend and I could just be with her? And
and I think like too, like you have to, all I can possibly do is try to be a better person from the present moving forward. So I just kind of thought that because I was like, well, let me just be the best version of me today and do that. And for me, that like I was viewing social media as like toxicity in my brain, where again, I know I need it for business. I hope that my content does help people, random people that I don't know, in a positive way. But I felt like I don't need, like I did my part. I put out the content that hopefully you laugh at or it helps you in some way. But now you can't then. The extra part is like, talk and people would DM me and be like, you've helped me so much. And then, giving me all their problems. And it's like, I don't know you. So I had to make a decision to be like, anyone I don't know, I'm not going to allow their opinion to influence my life at all.
To have access to me.
But I only care about now, like the way I live is I only care about the people in a room. So like, I don't know them as well, but like they're here and like I'm physically in their presence. So it's like, I would respect them and care what they think of me and be kind to them. But like, and of course my friends and family who I've known, but outside of that, like I'm not going to let somebody have an opinion of me, positive or negative. Like I just, I want them to come to the shows, but you don't have access to them. I do the show and then I leave.
I think those things are important. I love what you're doing in terms of like, yes, you need to be on social media for your brand, but you just don't see the feedback loop. I mean, it gets really toxic and then people will get in your head and be like, oh, you can't take a note or can't take feedback. It's like, it's not worth it. First of all, don't gaslight me with that bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm going to do me and the way I want to do it. So no, I can't please everybody. I don't need everyone's notes. Like
I also take notes from people that I love, that I care about. I take notes from Ashley and our best friends that all listen to the show and our parents and our family. Like I am not impenetrable to feedback, but I don't need somebody screaming at me. I don't want it to be negative. I don't want it to be hurtful. It doesn't help me in any way.
And if something's bad enough, you'll hear about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You're going to offend you and more than us, but if you do comedy, you're going to offend people. If it's bad enough, you're really at risk of being canceled. Someone will tell you about it, but you don't need to hear every single thing that you've done to bother somebody in your messages or in your comments every time.
Every time. And you know what happened too? With all that comparison stuff.
And the comparison stuff,
I started comparing myself to me.
I want to talk about this
I would look at
more.
myself, on social media 3 months ago and felt I was either better or worse back then and go down this judgy pattern where it's like, I'm just worried about the present. And for me, the only way to stay in the present is to be like, Yeah, if a picture of me pops up randomly in a drawer, that's one thing. But to constantly have access to what you looked, sounded like a month ago, a day ago, to me, I was like, I don't want that. I need it out.
I do that a lot with body image stuff because I will look back at how I looked like a year ago or
Right.
5 years ago and think like, how does that compare to now? And it helps me to remember, at least for like body image stuff, that like the thinnest times in my life were the most unhappy. So if I look back and I'm like, well, I looked better back then. And so many of us were filtering our photos back then and making ourselves thinner. And you didn't even necessarily look like that.
No,
you know?
it was you forgot that
You were just better at
cropped it.
Facetune.
Yeah, you forgot that you came with the highest angle ever and cropped it so you looked like you had a good chin, but you were swollen.
You weren't intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
then.
you weren't intermittent fasting.
You had too much
You were
sodium.
eating. You weren't eating in your allotted feeding window.
So, do you know Jimmy Iovine?
Jimmy Iovine. Why have I heard that
So
name?
he's like, he
they
was
just find
a
his body
record
somewhere?
label, and then he worked with Dr. Dre and the Beats by Dre collab. But his documentary, The Defiant Ones, and then we had his daughter on recently, and it's just my favorite documentary. It's 4 parts. And his quote that somewhere along the lines people have somehow attributed to Kim Kardashian, which we're always trying to blow the whistle on, because this is a Jimmy Iovine quote, is about how horses race with blinders so they don't see the horses on the other side because they'll trip up and fall.
Right.
And like comparing yourselves to other people. I mean, we just can't hammer this home enough. I think there's something to be said for seeing what's going on out there and seeing
Sure.
where you could do something better or seeing when there's like
Yeah.
a hole in the industry
Yeah.
that you could fill. But when you really start that, like, they're doing this and they're doing this and why aren't we doing this? It's just detrimental to your business.
You're always only ever like racing with yourself. Even if, whatever job you go out and get, or even in our careers, like if you don't get a part, like even if your identical twin got that role and not you, it just was never meant for you.
Yeah, I also like being surrounded by people that are really good at what they do. And even if it makes me like a little tinge of jealousy, like, oh, I wish I was doing that someday. I like being surrounded by people that I can be inspired
That's another
by.
thing, a good thing to know is you have to surround yourself with positive people. And just because someone's been your friend for 25 years doesn't mean they still have to be your friend today, because we're all walking bags of chemistry. So the chemistry that you aligned with 25 years ago may not be the chemistry inside me or you right now. So I don't think of family. I do believe is like you stay connected to, because I didn't choose my family. Some higher being like connected me to these ones. So I don't know what it means, but it means something. Where friends I did choose. And, I have a lot of friends from home, but there are certain people in my life that I used to talk to all the time. And I'm like, oh, I just don't align with them as much anymore. And maybe they feel the same about me, and that's fine. So you don't have to beat your head against the wall to like stay friends with people who you may not be serving. I love that I'm talking like this and then I kill myself tonight.
Chris, first of all, I think this is funny that
On
people
stage?
probably
She's gonna cut.
expected something different, and now they're like, "What is going on?"
I
here?
know. I'm sorry. Okay, let's talk about-
I want to circle
Yeah.
back to a couple things. One, this thing that we have also discussed on the podcast. With,
Azul, stop fucking looking at me.
with you're his dad now.
I was his
isn't
dad
it-
9 months ago.
You just like made a choice with
Yes,
Jasmine.
my
Like,
body, my choice.
We've talked about your body, her choice.
This is the shit you do on this is morning television, Chrissy.
Like how you just decided to commit. Like we
Yes.
talk about this with men a lot, that there is this constant, like, what's out there that's better? Could I find this, but just a little bit better? It just sounded like you guys had made a decision to be like, well, let's just commit and make a choice. That telling yourself, like, do I want to be 45 and like chasing pussy of these like young girls? Like we talk about men, especially like men in New York, you have to make the decision to commit to someone and stop the other bullshit. It's like a decision sometimes.
And it kind of feels like when it happens for you, it happens for you, because I also kind of felt like, well, there also is greed involved, where you start to feel like, well, I've been in enough relationships and enough encounters where like, I know what it feels like in the moment. I know what it feels like after. I know what it feels like the morning. I know what all these things feel like. So I felt like whatever other woman is out there, it's like, I know what it all feels like. We don't share the bond of having children and this life that we have together. By the way, even more, I wasn't making Jasmine a better person at all. I wasn't. Just because I was like providing, I was like, I'm making her worse. Like I'm sleeping with my back to her. I'm keeping her in this uncertainty limbo. Like I'm like literally like making this woman's like life hell mentally, because I'm like, she has 2-3 kids and she's like, what is this guy gonna do? Like, I'm like, oh, I'd always provide for you. It's like, I get that now, where it's like, who cares? Like, yeah, of course I would, but like, that's not what she wants to hear, and that's not what I should be giving her. So now I feel like at least I know, like what I give her now is like certainty in life, where it's like I'm security, like I'm here, I'm not going anywhere. Like I just feel any issue with her and I now, like we'd be able to deal with. We'd just be able to like get through, where I didn't really feel like that because I was too scared and too much of a pussy to just say, I don't want to be with you. I'm going to walk away. And if you cry on the floor, I don't care because I'm doing what's best for me. So what I was trying to do was create some scenario where she would have to do it because I fucked up so bad. So she'd have to throw me out. But then really it's what I wanted because I was being a coward.
You do talk about like the jealousy and the craziness and her going through your phone a lot. And I generally think when I hear about a woman behaving like this, I always think what's going on to provoke her. Some people are just a little crazier.
Well, it's the implants.
I will always think now, do they have butt or breast implants?
Well,
Yeah.
now I mean,
Jasmine's got a real butt. She's got a nice Latina,
She does.
big
I mean,
fat
she
ass.
is so beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah,
but,
she is. I just wish she had a dick.
Wait, Chris.
Sorry, Azul.
You said when she stopped acting like that, you thought she didn't want to be with you anymore.
Yes.
And I think that is so funny that is where your brain went. You were like, oh, she doesn't love me anymore.
Yeah, I don't even take my phone with me. I would like literally like flush it down the toilet. Like it's in the toilet bowl with me. But now it's like I'll leave it. Like I would leave my phone with her because I've changed the passcode. No, but no.
Someone else controls all your
No,
passwords
I know.
now.
You guys know my passcodes. It's 1776.
Obviously.
I leave it there now because I'm like, one, I have nothing to hide, and B, I feel, and one and B, but I feel like if you did find something, if someone from the past popped up, or if even someone like messaged her and was like, your boyfriend did this, I know that whatever it is, we just deal with it. Like I would just have an explanation. And, now it's like, see, I think too with Jasmine, what's helped is because my actions have changed where it's like, she said to me like a week ago, she was like, hey, like out of nowhere, like it wasn't like this dramatic moment. She was like, I just want you to know that I really see you trying and I'm happy for you.
That's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that you have to acknowledge people, make them feel appreciated.
Yeah.
Even if for years you feel like they deserved how crazy you acted, I think it's nice to acknowledge the change in somebody.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I think too, because I started to also think like, well, how does this affect my daughters? What are my daughters going to, is this what I want my daughters to see? Like, I realized I kissed Jasmine, we just randomly kissed late September. I remember because Delilah was going to school. So about a month ago, we just dropping the kids off and I just randomly kissed Jazz like out of nowhere on the lips. And Delilah was like, oh, I haven't seen you two do that in years.
Oh my God.
And Jasmine started like hysterical crying. I was like, are you pregnant? And Jasmine was like, do you see like how like Delilah never said anything like that to us? And like, we didn't know. We were like, oh, we don't fight in front of her. We made a pact for that 2 years ago. We were like, we won't argue ever in front of her. But things were still bad. But it was just, we were like, as long as we don't fight, the kids don't know. But when she said that, she was like, I haven't seen.
They do know.
And even my little one now, like I'll kiss Jazz on the lips and then Violet will come over and kiss both of us on the lips. Like she's seeing like, oh, this is what love is. This is what affection is,
So has she been good about letting go of the past?
Yeah.
Because that's like, I think that's so great that she's validating the progress. Because some people worry that you'll never forget and you'll be in a fight and all this stuff will come
I think
up.
we had a long conversation about that. And I said, if we both can't let go of each other's past, then there is no path forward because it's like you cannot change the past no matter what. It's just about being present and we have to take our life day by day. We have to. And we both have agreed to do that and we do that. Like it's been day by day. Every morning we wake up, it's a clean slate and go to bed, it's a clean slate. That's like what like the promise so far that we've like made to each other. And so far I feel good this way. And I feel good this way, even if I'm not saying it would, but I was like, there would be things where I was like, oh, well, if I'm like a taken man, then I'll get less girls to come to the shows. I'll get less roles. And number one, that's not true. But two, more importantly, I was like, even if that did happen, I don't care. I like my life. Like not everything is about money and it's not all about like, whoever has the most money doesn't win, or whoever sells the most tickets doesn't win. It's not that. It's like, we have this consumption thing in our society that I'm kind of like slowly being like, I have enough for me. Like I do, So if you girls get a, $50 million Spotify contract, I'll just, I'll be clapping like Michelle Buteau on daytime TV, just clapping. And I won't care that I didn't get it or anyone, even whomever, because I'm like, I have what I want. So I'm good.
Yeah. I just don't care what other people have. It doesn't make me any better. I'm happy with where I am. And I feel like we don't make a lot of decisions based on money. I think that we want to be
That's why you're successful.
happy and fulfilled.
Like Oprah said, the money comes second.
I mean, yeah. Money is important too. You know, like people hearing this that are like struggling for money are like, fuck you guys.
No, money doesn't solve, with that saying, money doesn't solve all problems. It solves a lot of them.
Yeah. It can. It's just, it's so crazy when the greed, like billionaires, it's like, what's the point of this?
Right.
What's the point? You'll never spend this.
Well, it is an American thing. I was in England and the show sold out. Thank you. And then I was going to Ireland the next day and those shows were sold out. And I was on the phone with my agent and the other comic was just in earshot. And we were talking about adding shows. I'd already added the show in London, but we were talking about now adding the show in Dublin. And then I got off the phone and, he wasn't a part of the conversation. And he was like, do you mind if I say something? And I was like, yeah. He goes, why do you feel like you always need more? He's like, why not just celebrate the sellout and you have these fans on the other side of the ocean? That's cool. He's like, why not just celebrate that? What do you think's going to happen to the fans if you don't add a second show? Like, you're not thinking about you. You're thinking about money and them and what your agent wants. Like, why not just have dinner? You have a 7:00 show. You're going to end at 9. He was like, I know a fabulous restaurant in Dublin. You can go there with your family, with Jasmine, with your friend. Why not just do that? Why do you need to sit in the green room for yet another 3 hours? And then you're going to miss out. Yeah, you have more money, but you miss out on time. So like you've made the money already. You did the thing. He goes, you as an American, you always want more. So why do you want that? And I was like, where's my fucking gun? But
he was right.
But he was right. That's the thing. I'm kidding, but he was right.
Ruin it every time.
No, but he was right.
No, I mean, Rain and I leave money on the table.
Good.
Like not a lot.
I can tell by the size of the studio.
We have these conversations a lot.
We're a business. We like to make money, but
but
we're
you
not going
girls-
to make ourselves miserable
There are
for
things
the
that
money.
we've turned down
Yes.
a lot. I mean, we could have more ads in these episodes for one, and
Yeah.
we're just like, I don't know. I mean, we were talking about this yesterday when people complain. We're like, we could do more, just so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But no, I think that we've done things where we're like, let's not do that. Let's enjoy ourselves.
Your
Let's
success-
not add the second show. Let's spend time with our friends and family.
You definitely have success just from an outsider at your pace. Like Nate Bargatze has success at his own pace and his own rate. And
Totally.
it's so monumental success. But you never look at Nate and I never look at you girls like doing 90 cities in 30 days. Like you're doing,
Yeah.
the thing is it's always a home run. You're more quality over quantity, which is what I think, we all strive for.
I think it is important to remember, and I also just want to, while we're having this conversation, validate the people that would like to do more. I don't want to like shit on it, but
Do more.
And also, if you do 300 shows a year, sure.
Yeah, I think we always end up on these calls sometimes, and we're like, what matters to us is how our life looks. We want to like our life.
Yeah, like you have to, like I always say to myself, if you make time and money equal parts, then I think like you start to realize like how much actual money costs so much more than time. Where like, if I go away from a Wednesday to Sunday to do some like improv where like you girls know you make a lot of money doing those because there's big shows and you can just like, you're just like printing money. Well, but that for me then costs 3 more days apart, because you got to get there Wednesday morning. You're probably not gonna be home till Monday morning. So it's like 3 more days away from my girls, all the things that I'll miss, all the dinners, all the moments where if I just go and do Friday, Saturday, yes, it is less money, but I have the time back. So I feel actually I come back Sunday instead of Monday because I've shaved days off. I'm actually coming back with, yes, less money, but like way more value. I've given way more value to my family because I'm there. So, and that's a tough thing for other people like our reps who don't, as much as they say, and they're all good people, as much as they say, they don't know because it's like, you don't have to get on the plane. I'm the one that has to face my family. So I'm the one that has to actually physically get my body on the plane and go. And so it's just less. And that's what I think the beauty of having podcasting is like, we can just sit here and like talk and it's a good living, but it's more helpful sometimes to like people who are, just listening and, maybe they're listening at a job they hate right now and they can like be motivated to like go start stand up and fail. Like we all have.
They can't DM you for advice on stand up.
Unfortunately, you can't. Well, I will eventually create a burner account. No, you could DM Pimp, homeless pimp will write back.
Yeah. I love the conversation. We didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I could talk about, you want to talk about like butt stuff? What do you want to hear?
Sure. Let's throw
Okay.
Are you into butt stuff?
No.
Let's
What
talk
do you
about it.
But
then.
actually, well, here's the thing. I thought no, But then I caught a Remy a month ago.
You caught a
I
Remy.
caught a Jazz because she, like we were hammered, and then we woke up, and I had a tongue in the ass. And
Hold on,
You did a
Chris,
morning
you
rim
have to
job?
back up.
yes, so we were.
You you woke up with her tongue in your ass.
Yeah, we
No,
were
you
like
didn't.
literally. I was laying on my stomach, and
Was she sleepwalking?
naked. No. This was just like a thing, like a sexual thing, and
She woke you up rimming your butthole.
yes, and I didn't know that, like, because that had never happened before, and I didn't know, like, because at first my first instinct was like, "Whoa, what's happening?" And like,
Are you on your stomach? Did
Stop.
you say that?
I was on my stomach.
She
yeah.
spontaneously started licking your butthole for the first time ever in the morning.
I
you sleep
put Sassone
naked?
in my ass. What?
Do you sleep naked?
Yeah, that night I was.
So she
yeah.
like saw something she wanted when she woke up.
Yeah. And then turned me over and started like blowing me, but then also the ass play. And I like really liked it. And I struggled for a moment. I was like, I gotta be gay. But then I was like, no, you're
Don't
not.
struggle with that.
And then I was literally saying I'm not gay as she was doing it.
Chris, there's no one that talks more about.
As I was just like she was like, you were holding your legs up like you're fucking like a gymnast.
I can't get over this. Never, ever in the past, you guys have never done butt stuff. She woke
Zero.
up spontaneously in the morning and started licking
the
your
breast
butthole.
implants. She wasn't
That's
doing.
what it is. I'm telling you, it's a different mind. Yeah. She
All
knew it.
you had to do is stop doing some fuckboy shit, and
That's
now you
it.
get
And
to
then
do
I got my
this.
ass eaten.
That is so. Maybe this is like your love language. So I used to say that this ex of mine, he never went down on me until I cooked for him this one night. So I made him these empanadas, and he went down on me like all night, and he had never done that before. I was like, I guess he's just not into it. He just needed me to do like a service act for him.
yeah.
And we've given the recipe out. It's my mom's empanada recipe, but
I love that you make empanadas.
they're like
You look like you are great at tennis.
It's funny you would say that because I'm not. And my tennis story is that I did try out for the tennis team, my best friend and I in 9th grade. And up until that point, they had never cut anyone from the program until they cut the two of us. So
Really?
we were like
'Cause you have-
historically went down as the worst tennis players in the town.
Really?
But I think I could be better at it now, and I do want to pick it up.
No, because you have female tennis energy.
I think that's a compliment.
It is a compliment. You have big tennis energy.
I have
BT.
so many friends that play tennis. I want to get into it. But okay, Chris. So
Azul.
now,
Okay, go.
now you seems like you're probably into butt stuff. Like you know that you like it.
Yeah, now I am into the butt stuff. Now quite often I'll just find myself like after a shower or whatever, just like, going into like the little cabinet and getting my daughter's Desitin diaper rash cream and just putting some on my finger and just putting it on my butt.
You're fingering your own butt now.
Not
No,
fingering
he's
it, but
not.
I'm saying that it's just there because I have a diaper rash, but I feel fine.
You're doing anal play on yourself a little bit
With my
sometimes.
daughter's
I don't
rash
think
cream.
Desitin is supposed to go inside.
No, and
You're
actually
just
Jasmine
rimming
has
it.
asked me to stop using
But
it.
you'll
'cause
never
A,
get a
we're
diaper
running
rash
out, and
again.
she was like, A, we're running out. B, when I do go down on you, I don't like fucking having a tongue full of rash cream.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's understandable. So we can get you some lube. And
Yeah.
Are you dabbling in toys? Are you going to
No, that I don't know that I can definitely do yet. I'm not as, I don't know that I could do a toy
Are you
yet.
doing butt stuff on her?
What do you mean? Like anal, like
like even just a
penetration?
finger, like-
yeah, finger. Yeah, finger. Yeah.
Is that new or that's been part of the
no,
script?
it's new. It's less going through the motions. It's more like, let's be like passionate and like, if we're gonna have sex, like let's do it. But we don't have that much sex because we got the baby,
Yeah.
like little kids. So when we do it, it's usually good, but it's not that much.
You don't want your daughters to be like, I haven't seen mommy put her tongue in daddy's butt in so long.
So long. Yeah.
Like you're like, we're really setting a good example, hon.
Yeah, that's what it is. Delilah, she's tonguing her fucking toy Cinderella's ass. I'm like, honey, stop. Is there good questions? Are we got questions? Preguntas, as Azul would say.
So we'll do two. We'll do two. Is this weird? So we asked our audience, like, is this weird? Like, what do you think of this confusing thing that happened? So she says, so just to preface, I don't love when a guy goes down on me. I can't relate, but I was dating this guy for a few months and he decided to go down there. Right off the bat, he just starts motorboating my vagina with his face. His entire head was shaking violently and he was making a literal buzzing noise with his mouth. I was so shocked and freaked out. I started yanking his head back up. What the actual fuck? Do men seriously think women want this? I can't stop thinking about how cringe this whole thing was. I broke up with him a few weeks later. So is this weird?
Because he went down on her.
The
The motorboating and the noises, like
Yeah, that's insane. Like, that's like literally like, that's, I don't know where you would get that.
Did she say how old she was? Because this sounds to me like somebody who's like 18, 19 in college, has never done it really that much. And like maybe you're just like, that's what I think people want.
But like that is the most you're gonna get, like a vibration in your lips. Like
Yeah.
Like that's going to do the work of a vibrator more than just like a licking. So I'm not saying I would want that, but I get where maybe he was coming from. He was like the more power I can get.
More horsepower.
Listen, I get that's what I agree with you. He's probably young, or he saw like in his guys group chat. He was like, "I'm going to go down on a girl tonight. What should I do?" And somebody sent him a motorboating gif, and he was like, "Oh, that's it."
Or someone could have just been fucking with him. They're like, "Dude, you got to motorboat her vagina lips," and he's like, "Say less."
Now I kind of want to try it. I wonder what that. I feel like it would feel kind of good.
telling you, like
the noise would change. Okay, but when you do that, I feel it in my lip in a way that I don't like it.
I am here for it. I don't like the his head violently shaking.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I can't. I'm picturing like
That I don't need. Yeah.
Like that's weird.
Yeah.
Now that I just did that, this like is very different than
Yeah.
That feels kind of. I'm a little turned on by
like
that.
because motorboating is like think of someone what they do when they put their head between your tits.
Yeah.
Like doing that on your vagina. I don't know if I want it, but
What's her name? The girl?
I don't know.
Okay.
Probably
Well,
Alexis. DM her.
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, I understand. Try if you're listening. Try diaper rash cream in your pussy. See how that feels.
You guys do not put
Don't do
Destin
that.
in your pussy.
If you do it, post it. I'll repost it.
You do it on your finger. Are you a little turned on by it?
It stops when your finger hits it.
I'm a little turned on
You know
by
what?
it.
We did. You know what? I've just remembered. I had a memory unlocked. We talked about this. You can't actually flutter your lips on anything. The second you flutter your lips and it hits something, they stop.
Really?
I can't.
Don't put it in there as far.
It stops.
Lightly tap it. I just spit all over my leg.
All right.
Okay, let's do one more. I'm sort of turned on by this, but okay. Tell us what you think.
Well, the guy you took a picture of. Maybe he'll do it.
Little backstory.
The guy you took a picture of that I caught you. I caught Raina taking a picture of someone walking.
Raina was taking a picture of this creeping on this guy that lives in the building.
It was so funny to see me. I'm turning the corner and I'm like, is that Raina literally taking a picture of a stranger?
Oh my God.
I literally stopped and I was zooming in.
It was
I've
so
seen him 2
funny.
days in a row. I think he's really cute.
I saw the whole thing. He's not a bad looking guy.
He's a cute guy. He's big. All right, so let me tell you this last one. Okay, little backstory. My boyfriend and I met in college. We are currently long distance while we look for a place together. Anyways, he was down visiting me once for the weekend. We were getting to it, and I came in my underwear. Before he left, I hid them in his bag as a nice little surprise for him later. Now, this is where my question comes in. He will FaceTime me every night, and like clockwork, he will eventually end up with my panties on his face like a mask. I'm talking ears, eyes, through the leg holes, nose in the front part, like he's being chloroformed. It's been 2 weeks. She lost me at the 2 weeks. I actually was like kind of turned on by this, and I think it's sexy that a guy would like literally strap
they
the
haven't been washed, right?
No, they haven't been washed, and he's like basically like strapping the smell to his face, which like I think is kind of hot if you like jerk off with my used panties on your face. If it's more than a day or two,
Here's what I'll say. Not that I can relate to this at all, but when we were in London, Jazz wanted to tie her hair up and was like, she had no hair tie. She was like, I'll be right back. And then she went into the bathroom, took off her underwear and tied her hair up with the underwear she was wearing. And I literally was like walking around with a fucking boner in Piccadilly Circus. Like you can't imagine. Like I was trying to smell.
Like a little thong? Or?
Yeah. And she just tied her hair up.
see,
And I was like, I kept like smelling her hair. And she was like, I know what you're doing. I was like, I want to have sex with your hair.
Ashley doesn't wear underwear. She's not a part of the culture, so she doesn't understand.
So
Really? You just go full puss out?
I'm commando most days.
I like that.
Okay.
It's very
thanks.
interesting.
I mean, I own some underwear, but I do understand your point and that it was just like her pheromones are like now they're above the neck, so you're like getting whiffs of them.
Yes, I think it was a.
But here's my issue with this. The bit is old. Like, it's 2 weeks. Like, the first time you put my underwear in your face was funny. Like, this is like telling the same joke for 2 weeks
But I don't
straight.
think it's. I think he's like jerking off to it. This is not like a joke.
Yeah, but he's FaceTiming every night. Like, I'm not saying it's a joke. I'm comparing it to just a joke that gets old. Like, I'm like, for 2 weeks straight, I've seen my panties on your face. Like, you can do this privately. I don't need them on the FaceTime anymore.
You're probably also faking a reaction now at this point after 2 weeks. You know,
let's mix it up.
Yeah, and you just tell. She should lie to him. Just be like, listen, it wasn't cum. I have a yeast infection, so go to the doctor.
It was the Desitin.
Yeah, it was the Desitin.
All right, Chris. Well, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you.
We're so glad you opened up to us about your journey today.
Here we go. Thank
Chris,
you.
tell everybody where they can find you, your podcast, your specials, and your stand-up, of course.
So, yeah, I got my special on Netflix, Specially Weshy, Chrissy Chaos podcast, Hey Babe podcast, and then chrisdcomedy.com for all my tickets. I got Toronto, Buffalo, Long Island, the Paramount in Huntsville, Long Island for New Year's Eve, and then a bunch in the South in December and January. So chrisdcomedy.com.
Okay.
Thanks, Chrissy.
Yes.
Great. And you guys can catch us on tour. Go to girlsgottaeatpodcast.com for tour dates and merchandise. You can follow us at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram. I am Ash Hess. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. We're also on TikTok. Follow us on TikTok at Girls Gotta Eat Podcast. And of course, Vibes Only, vibesonly.com, Vibes Only on Instagram and Twitter. And we'll see you next week.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.